that really suffer, and they're the ones that are busy keeping all of us in line, being our landlords and the monopolists, and just so much going on planet Earth. More coming up. So in Space War News, you can keep up with this at Freeman's blog, the freemanperspektive.blogspot.com, or just go over to freemantv.com and click on the link that says Freeman's blog. Tonight, Saturday night, a small asteroid will fly by the Earth. It's going to be just inside the moon's orbit. A small asteroid will buzz the Earth late Friday, coming into orbit, coming in to view Saturday, but of course we won't be able to see it. The space rock named 2009 TM8 was just discovered Thursday by the Catalina Sky Survey in Arizona. It will get within 216,000 miles of Earth when it zooms by at the speed of 18,163 miles per hour. That's slightly closer than the orbit of our moon, NASA Asteroids Watch team said. Now, of course, that is Jet Propulsion's laboratories that is bringing in Asteroid Watch, which you'll also find linked into the Space War News. Along with that, they are going to test launch the Ares 1, Ares X, the IX, the 1X, which is the flight system for the Orion space program scheduled to take over for the Columbia Endeavor for the discovery of Atlantis. And so as we move into the Ares Orion space program, it's obviously a war space program. And if you want to get deeper and deeper into the space war news and some of my thoughts, go over to radiofreeman.com. I have all my shows there now from Radio Freeman, databased, outlined, and ready for your listening pleasure. I hope you enjoy them. I used to think I didn't have a job until I started getting more friends around me and realized that I was constantly telling them, I gotta go, I gotta do this, I'm definitely a working man, there's no doubt about it. So they're going to try and test launch this Ares X rocket here on October 27th is the hope. They may get it out by Halloween. But, of course, they're going to need this flight facility again for the space shuttle mission. So, they're trying to fit it all in there. But at the same time, as we're working towards these the Ares 1 space program and bombing the moon and all of the things that we've been doing with NASA, which you can follow in the Space War News, they at the same time said that they don't have the money to launch another man to the moon. They don't have the money to keep this going, just as Asteroid Watch over at Jet Propulsions and NASA are saying they don't have enough money to keep track of the killer asteroids coming our way. And so we're going to see this bring about a unification of the military with our space program, and that's why I keep highlighting it. They'll just say that they have to do it. You're going to see this coming. And then we go into a wartime space program and space war. And this is something we don't want. What we're doing is building our own cage. We're building our own system of despair as we work these loser jobs that no one enjoys. I go into a lot of places and I see the employees behind the cash register, behind the counter, and they look almost ashamed at having to put on that costume and come down there and do that every day. And I definitely have empathy for that. I lasted 3 days at McDonald's, my very first job, because I was not programmed to listen to that kind of stuff and to fall into this type of programming. So, I was a wild child, let's just say it. So, it took 3 days for me to walk out of McDonald's, and I didn't even work the last 2 days. I just showed up because I thought I had to. So, none of us wants this. That's the thing. And what it takes to transition into a system that we do want is us having a new recognition of what life is all about and feeling that we have the sovereignty to just stand on our own. Everyone believes in these systems that the programmers have put in there, and that's really where the Masons have their greatest force, is this idea, the controlling of the idea, of the concepts. And that's why you'll find Noah Webster of the Dictionary of Freemason, or you'll find many religions founded by Freemasons, such as Mormonism, Scientology. When they get to the OTO, which is kind of a higher ranking magical order, which is pretty much scheduled within Freemasonry as well. A lot of the same type of techniques, ideas, thoughts, and many OTO are Freemasons and vice versa. If anything, I noticed that they definitely get along. And we get to this programming of a religion, and you can see how they create the concept. They've created the concept of America. That's not real. There's nothing real about it, but they've got everybody ready to fight, kill, and die for it. And it's not anything as they believe it is. And that's something that's coming to light now as we start to discover the true roots of civilization and we start to see where it's going. So, NASA finally sees a plume from the moon impact. The lacrosse camera catches a faint plume of debris and vapor, and so they're hoping and just excited that they might actually get some data from all of that craziness that they put on there on October 9th. I found it very interesting that this was launched on the Atlas rocket and that they were using the Alice spectrometer, when these are also the same names as the Hadron Colliders over at CERN. And CERN is scheduled to relaunch in November. So we should watch for that, see how that goes down, what we could think about. Let's just consider that, okay, they're relaunching CERN in November, but at the same time, and I'm only finding that news in Russian news, by the way, at the same time, CERN scientists are being admitting to having links with Al-Qaeda. So the French physicist arrested last week while working at the world's largest atom smasher has told investigators he corresponded over the internet with a contact in North Africa's Al-Qaeda branch. And so, yeah, we got some ties going on there. Of course, it seems that they were selecting targets for terrorism. And how deep does this thing go? I mean, really, a lot of the nuclear programs and experiments that were done, we can consider them pretty much terrorist organizations. And then they have people just living on it and men getting breast cancer. And, you know, why are we doing all of this? Why are we not working towards a system that then promotes fertility, promotes food growth, promotes life, gives you free time? Why? Because that's not the system your owners want. Well, the Hadron Collider costs $4.9 billion, and we can just go on, but what is money really, but debt? And what is it when we start to look at this system and know that they are not functioning, those that are our rulers, are not functioning within the same system as we are. They have an entire different view of reality. Sometimes it's just too much thought to keep this thing going. That's too much. But you guys are doing a great job there in the chat room at thefreezonechattango.com and setting me up with ideas, topics, and things to think about. So let's cover some of the things that are popping up in the chat room. Where are we going? What is the concept that we are trying to get out to us, and how do we change our system to bring about a world where there is no more scarcity, there's more fertility, there's food growing all over the place, and people can grow what they want? Well, one solution that's been offered is a movie called Zeitgeist. And, of course, I've been on the case of Zeitgeist since it came